What's up, all gainers? Welcome back to the All Gains podcast. We are back from a little hiatus from doing like podcasts. So we got me, myself, Andrew, and you know Mike. You a special guest. We got Charles in the house.
Oh hey.
So we got a good productive conversation ahead, and thank you guys for tuning in. So, hi Mike, where you been at since?
Actually, where have you been since the last podcast? Because you weren't even here on the last podcast.
Yeah, depending on if we release it or not during this time, I was not at the last one, but I'm back now. I'm still part of the team. Still part of the.
And this is gonna be the last podcast that's gonna be in this room, by the way.
Spoiler alert for. Still gonna save that news for later, but Mike said it live on air. Even though
I did.
Not live.
We'll talk about it later tonight, but. Yeah, I just wanted to say that right now.
This is the last podcast in this room.
Sad.
Sad, but also like great because the next time you see us during a podcast, we are going to be in a crazy environment. You've never seen the likes of it before. Joe Rogan is going to be surprised. Like all the crazy podcasts, they're all going to be looking up to us.
Sure. Fuck Joe Rogan. No, I like him.
He's pretty cool. But they're all going to be jealous about our new studio. They're all going to be jealous about what's going to happen in the next environment that we're in. So what's going on, Mike? How you been, man? What's going on?
I've been good, bro. Hey, Charles, how have you been? Talk about yourself for a little bit.
Who are you?
I've been pretty good. I'm Charles. Hello. Some people call me CJ, but that's like usually like the childhood friends like call me that. Now I kind of really don't care because I used to hate like the name as a kid. Like be like, oh Charles, are you here for class? I'm like, oh, can you call me CJ? And sometimes the teachers would be like, oh yeah, sure. Sometimes it'd be like, no.
Does anyone ever call you like Charlie?
My mom's side of the family calls me Charlie, like my grandparents and shit.
Because if my name was Charles and people call me Charlie, I'd be like, shut up. I would not. I don't know. I like CJ better. I think that sounds like more like of a G name. Like that's some gangster shit right there.
I don't mind.
That's some kid gangster shit, honestly.
Yeah.
I knew a few CJs. Back in his day, high school, middle school days.
I only play a game as a CJ in Grand Theft Auto. It's like the only time I ever.
Because of that, like people in school used to call me Carl Johnson. One random person, Carl Johnson, my man. I'm just like, that's not who I am, but I'll take it. All right,
sure. Games and like movies, man. Like it's just like I was saying, they're not the same as they used to be. Like when I was talking about like Star Wars, because Star Wars is dead pretty much. Like movie wise, in my opinion, I think because Kathleen Kennedy She just had to do her bullshit, and George Lucas gave up the rights, of course. And I don't know, a lot of movies like that, for example, like a lot of trilogies, like a lot of it's just lost its way. Hollywood has lost its way. Yeah, like there's no movies I'm really excited to see anymore, really except for Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, dude,
that's gonna be so good.
Dude, I'm going night one. I have to.
We are.
Like I don't usually simp for movies. But I'm a simp for Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
I'm ready.
And Spider-Man No Way Home was so good, so it kind of makes sense that I'm still like I'm sort of on the Marvel train, but I don't know. We didn't see the Batman yet at the time of this recording. We have to do that. Did you see the Batman yet?
I did. I'm not gonna spoil it. It's pretty good. It's a lot more of a darker movie.
Is it better than The Dark Knight? That's the only question anybody ever. Okay,
no, it's not.
That's the only question anyone ever has.
It's probably better than the other two. Like,
do you think that the Riddler is a better villain than like Bane or like Ra's al Ghul from like the Dark Knight?
He's kind of cheesy a little bit.
In my
opinion, like he's like.
the Riddler is
kind of like nerdy in this movie, which is like I'm not like he's really smart though. Like I feel like a lot of like the riddles and like not the riddles themselves, but like a lot of like the tactics he uses in the movie are really cool.
Yeah, I don't know, like. Superhero movies are very interesting because it's just there's so many different like the ways you could do it now, and with the CGI, I don't know, like I'm more of a practical effects kind of person. I kind of miss the days when they would use more everything's CGI now. Technology has literally ruined the world. It's ruined the brain. It's like constantly it's a blessing to have like all technological advances we've had now. But the way like CGI, man, I don't know. I don't trust it, man. Skynet, bro. Skynet's coming.
Yeah.
So I keep trying to tell everybody, but no one believes me.
But you know what?
I'm literally Sarah Connor. No one wants to believe me, and I'm gonna get locked up in a mental institution. Like I am at that point.
But you know what? The only thing I can say that's good about the technology is that they did Luke Skywalker right in the Mandalorian, not in the Mandalorian, but the Book of Boba Fett. That what like 1 or 2 episodes or whatever that he was in.
They had to redeem him because he looked like a PS2 version of Luke Skywalker.
He didn't look great, but when I first saw him in the season 2 finale of Mandalorian, I thought it looked okay. It wasn't great, but I saw it as Luke Skywalker when I first watched it. When I saw it again, I was like, that doesn't look as good, and the mouth, and you can see the mouth is all messed up. But like this second time, it was a lot better, like a lot better.
Yeah, like what you said earlier about like the Star Wars movies being kind of dead. Like, I kind of agree. I think the acting in the newer trilogy is some of the best acting Star Wars has ever done.
Who do you think acted good besides like maybe Kylo Ren?
Dude, wasn't
Well,
I
can't think of
no,
his
not
name.
Donald.
Adam
Driver. It's
Driver.
a football player.
Adam
Driver.
Driver.
Yeah,
He was
he
great.
He was the best.
I think he was.
I think
really
well,
good.
I'm pretty sure he was really the only one that had like out of like that small like the younger cast that actually had a lot of background in acting and stuff. Because like granted, I know he was in the military and then he also did plays and stuff, but like I feel like because like Daisy Ridley was like off the street kind of deal.
Pretty much.
She like did like a small bit of stuff.
I guess Daisy Ridley's okay, but Rey needed to die. Like I just wanted her to die. Like she just needed to get killed. I wish Kylo Ren would just like in the front, because it's just with the character. It's not not the actress. You know, the character Rey. She ain't shit bitch. Like I don't care what anyone says. Mary Sue.
I wasn't a fan of her as a character.
Because you know it's a Mary Sue, and they just kind of messed up. It's
like,
not the Luke Skywalker, you know, and then they messed up Luke Skywalker, the whole thing.
There was a couple things that like, if like, okay, like it's cool that they did this, but if they like changed things up a little bit, I would have been okay with it. Literally, when I saw it in theaters, like when like the whole ending with like, okay, the movie's been out forever. Spoiler alert, we're spoiling episode 9. Fuck you, I don't care. It's been out for years. Come on, people.
That's what I've been saying.
I
mean, no one should watch it ever anyway.
Yeah, like when Kylo Ren died, I'm like, okay.
I was just like, why? Why can't Rey die?
Like, I was okay with it. I just thought it was like too subtle. It should have been more of like a big thing. Like,
and then he was kissing Rey. I was like, you know, Kylo Ren killed Han Solo, right? Like,
I was okay.
You forgot about that? I didn't forget.
I was okay with him with the whole kiss thing. I think that was extremely Disney. Like,
you might as well just stop banging right in front of the. I would have just been like, yo, like whip out dick. Let's go. If I was Kylo Ren, I'm like, listen,
boob touch, like something.
Like out of the whole like Disney trilogy, I feel like that was the most Disney moment in the entire trilogy. I'm like, that's a very predictable Disney thing.
I was like, what?
But I would have been okay with that happening if he would have lived. Like if they actually would have like happily ever after, or like, you know, at least like moved on like with their stuff, I would have been totally fine.
Yeah, Rey Palpatine. Wow.
I thought that was cool though.
I'm Rey Skywalker.
I thought the idea was cool.
Why is Palpatine alive? Can you answer that for me? Just
he's so strong with the Force, man. I don't know.
That's not acceptable. See, no one can answer the question.
For reasons.
Yeah, for reasons.
Somehow Palpatine is alive.
Shout out to Mauler.
Shout out to
He's a
Mauler.
ghost,
I love that man. He's hilarious.
I don't know. They killed it. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure, you know, first of all, I'm pretty sure Kylo Ren died a virgin, so we need to. And Luke Skywalker died a virgin. Why is everybody dying virgins in Star Wars movies? Except for Leia. Everyone except Leia and Han Solo. Don't fuck. Why is this?
Well, no, Anakin.
Am I the only one noticing this? Not even Lando.
Anakin got laid.
Anakin got laid.
Well, that's because
Luke Skywalker.
Well, that's because Hayden Christensen. That's because Hayden Christensen.
Dude, can we just take a second?
Well, and because the Anakin had to have Luke.
Exactly.
That needed to happen.
That's premeditated.
If you really think about it, the whole Jedi Order is really weird. And like they're like, okay, we're gonna take you young as a kid. You can't see your family. You can't love anybody. Like, oh, we're like this organization where it's like, oh, we want no power, or whatever. We're here to bring peace. Oh, but we have a council to boss everybody around. Basically, there is power.
I think the Jedi weird. I think the Jedi easily got killed by all the because they were all like incels. Like, think about this. Jedis are not allowed to fuck, right? So,
but apparently they are.
But they're not.
But apparently they are. Of course, it's so. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that
they said you can't love, but maybe that's not.
But that doesn't matter. You don't have to love to fuck.
True.
Not in 2022. But
no, but listen. Disney referenced this in a book in that new
Disney should not be talking
in that
about
new
sex
era
because...
in that era. What is it called? The High Republic era. They talked. There was inside one. I don't remember what book it is, but I heard about this where they talked about how Jedi were pretty much allowed to fuck, but like they couldn't be attached to them or to that person.
So
or
basically, they were
that.
implicating Jedi should have casual sex.
Pretty much, yeah.
I'm for it.
All right.
Listen.
I mean, I could be a Jedi.
Pretty much, yeah.
I am a Jedi.
But
actually, I actually am a Jedi.
In the context of who in the context of the how you find this out, you find this out by like an older Jedi talking about it to a Padawan.
But like if a Jedi
or something like that. I think it was something like that.
But like most Jedi were still not banging though. So like
I mean when we get to like
Maybe
when we get
Mace
to
Windu
when we get to Clone Wars era, there's definitely no one fucking.
Yeah, but that's why they would probably killed all. So they're like, I don't even care anymore.
But there's also
I
that
can't
thing with
have-
Palpatine where he pretty much Palpatine was in control of fucking everything
Well,
anyway.
apparently
And so-
Palpatine's banging because somehow Rey is alive. So apparently,
Well, yeah, but he
Oh
wasn't
well,
a Jedi, though.
no, it's Palpatine's clone was banging because Palpatine cloned himself and he let it
Why?
free. And
Dumb.
and that one found some chick and he banged that chick and then had Rey and then Palpatine
That
was
is
like,
the
I need
worst
to get.
storytelling I've
Yeah,
ever heard.
I know
Clone
it's awful.
nut.
That's the worst thing.
What the
The clone
fuck?
nut caused
So
the new
Jedis
trilogy.
can have casual sex, but they can't get attached. So
Yes.
so I'm a Jedi.
You are.
So I'm a
You're
Jedi.
not. You're not a Sith. You're a
Jedi
Jedi
master.
because
This
Sith,
is good.
because the Sith
I can do
want to
that.
be attached. The Sith want to be attached.
Yo, listen, I think both sides are flawed. The Jedi,
100%.
like I
Of course.
talked about, they're flawed. Listen, the Sith are like, oh, the rule of two. There's only two of us.
The real
like,
Sith is
focus
actually,
all the power into, bro. Grow an army, grow some balls. Let's be real.
The
here.
real
I
Sith
mean,
is
like
actually-
Sidious did do that technically.
He did, yeah.
Sidious technically did that. He had in his disposal during from episode 1 to like pretty much the original trilogy. Like he had Maul, right? And then when he lost Maul, he had Dooku, and Dooku had Asajj, right? So technically there was more than two, but she wasn't a Sith. She was just a dark side user. And then he tried getting a whole bunch of kids, pretty much babies. He was trying to kidnap a bunch of babies that were supposed to go to the Jedi to then raise them as dark side users to create an army, but that ended up failing. So then when Order 66 happened, he ended up getting a whole bunch of former Jedi that turned to the dark side to become Inquisitors to kill all the Jedi. So he
forgot
had
about the
like
Inquisitors.
15 of them, and Vader, who pretty much was like 13 times stronger than all of them, and then Sidious was stronger than all of them. So he's like those like 18 people or 17 people, however many that there were,
Yeah.
because I don't even know it at this point, were like the most powerful beings on the planet,
Listen,
or like in the galaxy.
all I'm gonna finish off with is like the Inquisitors, like the fucking rotating
That was weird.
blades.
I don't know,
Dude, that
like
was
it's
the sickest thing ever.
honestly in Rebels it looked cool and it's a lot more practical when doing it in Rebels. When they do Kenobi, I really hope it actually looks good.
Yeah.
because it's easy to do something like that in animation.
Oh yeah.
Stuff like those rotating saber blades is something that's super easy to do in animation. Granted, in the trailer we saw the rotating blades,
Yeah.
but we haven't seen them being used,
Yeah.
like in a battle or something. And so I hope that they do it right. And that is the one thing that's keeping me like from not going insane with Star Wars, and that is Kenobi. Ewan McGregor is Obi-Wan. Like he's so good. Like he's done so great since from taking over from the prequel trilogy and everything for Alec Guinness, because he's rest in peace. But yeah, no, like Ewan McGregor is so great, and I hope that they like do this story well. You know,
I'm worried I'm too hyped for the Kenobi show.
yeah, honestly,
that's the
me
thing.
too. I already have my expectations of like hoping that Qui-Gon is in it, and you know that they bring in Liam Neeson to have like
that'd be
one
great.
scene, at least a scene.
That'd be cool.
talk.
Because he does everything. It's like he's like in a bunch of movies. He usually says yes if he likes the idea.
Well, yeah, and I mean, like, I know Liam Neeson is like slowly. I think he's slowing down like his action roles, but like he's
I
not
think so,
going to
yeah.
be doing anything actiony in this.
Isn't
'cause he's
there a
dead.
new movie with Liam Neeson? I'm pretty sure he plays like himself. No, it's Nicolas Cage. Never mind.
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage literally plays
Yeah.
himself.
Yo, Nicolas Cage
Cage
is great.
Face Off.
I have not. Wait, with John
Bro.
Travolta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I have seen it.
good.
It's so
and
good.
Con Air is great too.
Yes.
1997, great year for movies. Fifth Element, I love it. but with Star Wars, like Palpatine's dead. Star Wars is dead. Whatever.
Yeah, no, and if you want to know more about how bad and awful the Disney trilogy is, go watch Mauler on YouTube. Definitely.
Yeah, he'll explain
Everything.
everything. Yeah.
Listen, all I'm saying is, if you guys have Disney Plus,
I do.
you ever see Star Wars Visions, like the anime?
I watched like the first half of them. I haven't watched all of them
Dude,
because I kind of just I grew bored. But like
Dude,
the
the
ones that I saw, I kind of
The
enjoyed.
first episode, the black and white one,
Oh yeah.
dude, the lightsaber umbrella. That's
like,
the
what
sickest shit
I was
ever.
like, what the fuck is this?
It was so.
But
sick.
the one with the saber, the one who the sabersmith,
Mm-hmm.
where like all the Jedi were like, some of the Jedi had to like where they were gathering the Jedi or whatever, and it was a trap and stuff, and the sabersmith like got all the lightsabers and stuff, and like all the blades like changed colors and shit. that episode I really liked.
Yeah,
That
that
was-
one and the first one was all black
Yeah.
and white. I thought that was really cool.
And then they had one. I think it was like kind of like a knockoff of like what's the video game character with the fucking
Mega Man.
Mega Man. Yeah, it was like I think it was like
Mega Man.
like a Mega Man / Astro Boy kind of like.
Oh yeah. I remember.
Yeah, once
Or
again,
/ Pinocchio, because like the old guy was kind of looked like Giuseppe or whatever his
yeah,
fucking
Disney's
name.
pissing me off though, just constantly. And you hear like about the recently. It was like a bunch of Disney employees were caught with the child pornography.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
Yeah, like 100
No,
of them.
no, we did now Disney as in
And
as
Disney
in
was just
Disney
boycotting-
corporate or Disney parks.
It might have been a mixture.
Because you got to remember when you talk about Disney, there's like millions
There's
of
so-
different
there's so
things
many
I'm
different
inside
gonna,
of
I'm
each
gonna
other.
pull this up that way.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can-
pull it up, and
hold
then
on,
you're gonna
I'm
have to give it to me so I can put it up on the screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna find this. Hold on.
Yeah,
Disney
because honestly, Disney,
Disney trafficking. Yes. Okay. Hold on.
Oh,
God.
trafficking.
Yeah, that's what it was. My bad. Yeah, my bad.
that's-
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's some spicy stuff.
Yeah, and
let
me know
that's
how
no
old
bueno.
that
Why
is
is
too.
everyone trying to fuck kids? I'm really trying to figure this out. Like I taught me and Mike and I, we have these conversations at the gym. Like why is the government like it's so corrupt? Like was with the Epstein stuff and the Maxwell case that wasn't really shown, I mean,
which is
that's like
stupid.
that's
That
a
should have
whole
been shown.
Yeah, that's like a whole conspiracy thing on its own.
We're waiting for her to be to have committed suicide.
Like the whole, I always tell Mike, like a bunch of the world's problems would be solved if people were banging people their own age, or at least over 18. Like
Anyone over
everyone-
18.
like imagine if what's his name, Harvey Weinstein had like 3 hot models all over 18, and they just wanted him and everything was fine. He wouldn't.
And he wasn't fat.
Yeah, and he wasn't a piece of shit. Like
True.
maybe he wouldn't be trying to do all the crap that he did. Even though I don't think that has anything to do with children, but still. Okay, it was on the NBC News. 4 Disney employees in Florida, human trafficking, child predator sting. So it was like 4 Disney employees arrested in a massive undercover operation. So it was like an undercover thing, I guess. They arrested 108 people.
Yo, that's
Bro.
crazy.
But that's a lot of kids, man. That is, I don't
Wait,
know.
well, no, they didn't arrest 108 kids. They
no,
arrested.
I'm saying, but like, that's a lot of kids
Yeah.
like potentially involved
Oh,
in that
oh.
stuff, like because
Yeah.
one person can be talking to like 10 kids. So
That could be over then. Yeah.
Xavier Jackson, 27, of Kissimmee.
Kiss me.
Wow, that's
That-
awkward.
That is a town in Florida.
Yeah, that's a weird.
Right by. That's actually right by Disney World too.
Imagine being a child predator in Kissimmee, Florida. Just imagine that for a second. Let's absorb that. Allegedly communicated online via text with an undercover detective posing as a 14-year-old girl.
Nice.
We did a breakdown of like this YouTube channel called People vs. Preds, and this guy is hunting. Oh, cool,
Yeah.
lightning.
Yeah, there's lightning.
He's
going
like he uses Grinder. I'm pretty sure he uses Grinder and some other app, and he poses as like a 14-year-old boy or like a 13-year-old girl.
Oh, and
so
he'll
that-
invite him to like a hotel room or something, right? And like the guy will come,
Wow.
and then there'll be a bunch of like camera crew, be like, "Yo, what are you doing?"
Well, what he does is he invites the child predator out like in public or something, and then he has the camera and everything when he meets him, because the child predator thinks he's meeting a child. But it's actually him.
I'm pretty sure I've seen this. Yeah,
With
this
the
is crazy.
camera. And he caught the Sony the vice president of the PlayStation Network.
Yo,
they got him.
that's
He got him on
wild.
YouTube. It was
That's
his-
crazy.
Yeah, it's
most
all
viewed video.
Yeah, it's
That's
all on
crazy.
YouTube.
So like there's a bunch of like, you know what, people don't understand it. There's a lot of things in the world, not just Hollywood, but like in general, there's always things going on behind the scenes. Always. There are text messages out there. There's Hunter Biden's laptop. There's always like things and there's a lot going on out there that people really don't know about, and people think that life is all like all cookies and candy and everything's fine, but there's a lot of like stuff going on secretly out there that would baffle some people.
Dude, ever since I saw Euphoria, I always just wonder now, I'm like, how many people are secretly drug addicts and how many people are secretly banging minors? Because like, dude, that show fucks with you.
Yeah, man, this
No, and-
it's
and
really
seriously with the
whenever
minors,
I
too.
see like people with children, I'm just like, you fucking better be his parents. Like I don't know, like it's really bad out there. Like it's actually like a lot of people are really like, imagine the people that don't get caught on these YouTube channels or anything. Like there's a lot of I'm telling you, the human sexual drive is extremely like,
It's weird,
it
man.
could be weird, it could be really good or really bad, because like a lot of people out there are just not.
Dude, it is pouring outside out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Maybe within the next
fuck.
hour it won't be. I'm very
Yeah, I'm
optimistic.
hoping that this roof will be contained. Honestly.
What was
Pretty
it saying?
cool.
We were talking about how people fuck kids and behind the scenes.
Yeah,
and
people
shit.
need to stop fucking kids behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
But
It's
there's just
weird.
so much going on out there, and I'm more worried about the people who don't get caught. What's really going on, and I'm very
yeah.
wary. You know, because a lot of people, let's face it, a lot of people are not having sex like with people that like them, because people just lack social awareness, social intelligence, which is that's a whole thing we can get into. But like, I don't know, people are kind of losing their minds these days when it comes to their relationships and like their own drive. People don't even know themselves. You can't get in a relationship with someone if you don't know yourself. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. That's why a lot of people, they try to force themselves into situations, man, and they don't even know why they're doing it. We all have this instinct that we don't know how to control it, and then we get emotional as fuck, and then we're upset all the time and pissed off, and then we don't know why. So
I don't mean to cut you off. These transitions are wild, by the way.
I know, man,
These
we're
are
all over the
wild.
place.
No, listen, I'm here for it.
This is a free for all. I always promote. I don't know. I feel like we're a small channel now, so we can get away with saying anything at this point. Yeah, you heard
And
that.
I love the fact that there is a thunderstorm with a lot of lightning just happening as we're talking about
This
crazy
is-
shit right now.
It's because they know. The government knows. I'm talking about some real
The
shit right
government
now.
is controlling the
This
weather,
is all-
guys.
You ever see the Truman Show?
I love the Truman Show.
We're in the dome right now.
Yo,
and
good movie.
Yeah,
Good
we're in
movie.
the dome right now, and the guy controlling is like, okay, make this shit thunder. We gotta distract them because we don't want them talking about the trafficking in Disney anymore. That's literally what's happening right now, and I'm all in. Well, we always try to like talk about like all kinds of shit on this channel because people are afraid to speak their mind now because of like cancel culture and everything. But we can't get canceled. Well, we can, but we probably won't because we're not too big yet. Yet we will.
And even if they try to cancel us, like it's gonna be like, okay,
Like, oh no, I got canceled. I can't work my minimum wage job anymore. I gotta find another one.
yeah,
Like,
oh no, I have to
Yeah.
work at some dumb.
I'll write a book about how I got canceled. Make millions.
You can. There's a lot of interesting ways to make money, but a lot of people are just afraid to speak their truth, and like they're very afraid of like what others think of them. I don't know. I think you need to be brutally honest with people because you can detract the ones that will serve no value in your life, and if you act like your complete authentic self, you'll attract the ones that will really fuck with you like that.
Yeah.
How many people you know that are actually they're snakes? It's like customer service because when you go to a supermarket or something and you're trying to ask for help or you're just asking dumb questions, they're gonna be nice to you and they're gonna be like, oh, hello sir, we're gonna bring you over here, and then when you walk away they're gonna talk shit about you. Like it's all everything's a lie.
this fucking moron. Like,
Yeah, look at this fucking retard. Like, I don't know what to say. Whatever. But, like, what I mean is, like, we live in a world of actors. And, you think actors are just on the TV screen? No, man. You work with actors. You live with actors. You are surrounded by actors all the time. And to come on a channel like this and actually say what you want and be who you are is extremely rare. Because everywhere you go, people are just acting. I mean, at your job, your family sometimes. Hopefully not. I hope they're real with you. But, it's very rare to be in a place where everyone is completely authentic with you. And you could actually speak your mind. Because I can even, say whatever I want in my own household sometimes, So it's interesting, Everyone's an actor wherever you go. That's an important life lesson people don't know.
Yeah, and like when you were talking about like people, when you try to be brutally honest with people, a lot of people also need to be able to take the brutal honesty and not use their emotions in a negative way. Because a lot of people and I just don't want to be like a you people. Like we all have this issue where something happens and we want to react, and either we react rationally or react emotionally, and usually the emotions. 99% of the time, the emotions win with a lot of people. And sometimes it happens with us, sometimes it doesn't. But it's something that people need to learn and be able to do constantly, where if someone says something brutally honest with you, or someone says something that, might trigger you or whatever, you don't react or retaliate in an emotional way. You need to take that, analyze it for a second, and, rebuttal or say something that that is not something that you don't want to start screaming and going ballistic on someone, or even just making weird noises at someone because they said something to you that you didn't like. And that we've lost a lot of us have lost how to debate people and how to find a common ground in specific arguments. Politics now is like ridiculous and it's dumb because no one wants to actually debate. People just want to just say only their side, and they want to, interrupt other people talking to get their point across instead of actually having a conversation with that person. You know what I mean?
Instead of actually getting a middle ground, they're like, "Oh, I'm right, you're wrong. Stop talking." Basically.
Yeah, and I don't know if I've ever in my lifetime have ever seen a debate like politics wise that's actually been like what I'm trying to explain. That is a conversation with two people. I don't think I've ever seen one that has gone a full length conversation, like a full length debate that's been a conversation. I don't think I've ever seen one.
Yeah, because like you have people like they pitch their ideas, they're trying to pitch their point, but like sometimes like you can come to like an understanding at least. What I mean? Like it's okay to admit like okay you're wrong about a topic, but like obviously people and their egos nowadays like especially when they're on TV and in front of the bright lights like they don't want to do that. Yeah, and it's kind of and like obviously I get why, but it's just like it's kind of sad.
Yeah, people also just honest. I mean they're afraid to be honest as well in like a debate. People don't want to speak their full opinions sometimes, and people are very afraid to debate as well because they feel like they're going to lose or their ego gets involved, and it's like a whole bunch of things. It's it comes back to authenticity. Can you really have a genuine conversation with someone that you agree with without getting super pissed off and emotional, like, oh well, you're a piece of shit. Like we live in a very emotional world. We've like talked about that on like many videos and like podcasts before, but we basically live in a world that like emotion is more valued over reason. And because of that, like our world is completely like gone upside down. Because everybody is so quick to get angry or like upset about something, and rather than like actually talk rational ideals and try to get their actual thoughts out, instead they just get emotional and super like petty, and it never really works out that way. And you can't really have a functional debate if both parties are emotional as fuck.
Yeah, like the last presidential election, they were both of them were just interrupting each other. They were both like saying random things,
and they were just memes. It was just, like,
and it was
memes.
just, bro. I've seen all the YouTube poops for it. And it was hilarious. I don't know if I don't know if it'd be Trump and Clinton though, but like because those ones were really good. But it's just like why like I love the memes. I love it, but at the same time, like this is real life. That's our country. This is reality right now.
That's what's left
and
of our country.
Our reality is being destroyed because no matter which side you pick, you're still losing. You still lose. All of us. We all lose. Because we either go with what we have right now, or we go back to the last 4 years, which wasn't, the greatest, but it also wasn't what we have right now. So no matter what, we lose. And if we picked anyone else, we don't even know what's going to happen because normally none of that even happens. No one, because anyone that tries to vote for a third party, never win. Because the two parties are so big that everyone only focuses on them and they try to shut out the other parties and stuff, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I also think it's a little controversial opinion, but I think most people act, they're most. I can't talk today. They're mostly actors with their in their relationships because people are very afraid to offend like their partner and stuff. I notice that all the time. Like people are very afraid to like tell their girlfriend something because they think that she'll overreact or it'll cause a fight. And if they cause a fight, no sex. If we don't get sex, you go crazy. But even though it's not the only part for those who disagree, but it's part of it. And people are very afraid to upset anyone. Relationships are just one part of it that just came to my mind. But
yeah, no, you're correct. Like people, regardless of if it's a relationship with your, with your significant other or even like your boss or whatever, like your friends, like you don't want to. Sometimes people don't want to upset, the person that they're talking to with something. But I feel like it would, especially with friends, I feel like it's better that you upset them with reality, with whatever it is, because that you're their friend.
I just feel like nowadays people have a hard time taking constructive criticism.
Oh, 100%.
Like you'll bring up something and you're not trying to like attack them or anything. You bring it up because it's generally like an issue that you want to address, and the people just feel like attacked. And like, hey man, like if you're actually one of those people that take a constructive criticism and don't take it personally, honestly, cheers to you, because honestly, like that's hard to find nowadays.
Yeah. And honestly, also like not even just that, like taking the criticism, but also giving it. I feel like, especially me, I feel like I'm a big attack on this one. But when I try to give people constructive criticism, I sometimes I can feel it in my bones that I sound like a total fucking douchebag. Like I'm be like, because like there'd be the times where, let's say someone is like overweight, I'm trying to help them, and like I want to help them, but like I sound like, hey, you're fucking. It's sometimes, and I don't mean it, but sometimes I'm like, you're fucking fat. Like let me help you. Let me do something. But like at the same time, they're hearing you're fucking fat, go die. Like they're hearing that in their mind, but that's not what I'm saying, and I'm not trying to make it sound like that, because I know sometimes I say the words. Sometimes I say the words in the wrong way, but the meaning of them is something that I'm like, where it's pure, that I'm trying to help. And and that's just in my example. There probably a lot of people will probably have the same type of things for other reasons, with other different types of context. But that's physically mine, where I try to help someone who might need to lose weight or want to get in better shape, something like that. And I try to give them some sort of advice, or try to say something to help them want to do it. But sometimes it does the exact opposite. And that's something that, I need to work on. That's a good criticism on myself that I can do. And a lot of people need to also be self-aware of their own flaws to build upon themselves.
Yeah, I love criticism. You can criticize me in anything I do, because there's a lot of things that I do that definitely deserves some critique, and I get judged for like everything, which is fine. Everyone needs to just kind of be evaluated, I think, for some of their choices, and it's always good to. That's how you evolve. That's how you learn. That's how you get a little bit better. You have to be able to handle criticism. Now, handling it is the most hardest part, because the ego can only take so much. If someone says you're doing something wrong, you're automatically like, what do you mean? You don't know what you're talking about. You're doing it wrong. They always try to deflect, and they try to, avoid blame, and always, it's never your fault. If you ask, like, even like when I was saying before, in a relationship, they break up. Like you could ask them, so what went wrong, and then most likely they'll blame like the other person. Well, she cheated on me, or she was emotionally distant. She wanna, or the girl will blame the guy, like, oh, he wasn't there for me. But they'll never really take account. Most people really fail to take accountability in like any single way ever. Like, oh, maybe I could have done this better. Just to come out and say, I could have handled the situation a little bit differently. Maybe I could improve on that. That's such a very genuine and powerful thing to do, and come out and do, and have your ego kind of lay down for a second and just kind of be like, okay, maybe I could have done this better. Because you're never going to learn if you cannot admit that you've done something wrong once. We all are not born out of the womb perfectly knowing how everything should go. We have to learn by trial and error. That's how you evolve as a human. That's how you get a little bit better, But people are very afraid to get better, because it's so easy to be comfortable in this crazy society we live in now. We're expected to be comfortable.
Yeah, and we all have specific issues. Like when in my past relationships, I definitely, looking back, I definitely had a lot of issues on my own self. Not even just them. A lot of them had their own issues too. Not gonna lie, but I can only control what I have. Right? They could have been Red Flag City. They could have been mainland China. But I also had red flags too. And I had stuff that I should fix, and by fixing them can help me in the future, and can help. And so anyone that might have a similar situation, that might have seen red flags upon themselves after the fact, and trying to figure out and problem solve how to better yourself to not have to deal with that. So then whatever situation you went through, whatever breakup or whatever it was happened to you, it won't happen again. And so, because life is about trial and error, and it's about critical thinking and understanding like what life is. And so if you had like something happened and you made a mistake, or something happened and it was pretty much upon you, you have to think about what you've done and what had caused this, and then figure out what to do to better yourself, or to better a situation that might happen again in the future.
Dude, I suck in relationships. Like,
why do you think that?
I really do, because like in like the honeymoon phase, like you're all
love
like
that. The best sex ever.
Like the honeymoon phase, like you're all like head over heels for each other and all that stuff. Dude, once I get comfortable and the honeymoon phase is over, like it's not that I definitely don't lose interest. I just lose like I guess the drive, I guess, because like I'm at that point where it's like, okay, like she's already into me, like, you know, so much or whatever, like, you know, like
I'm glad you brought that up, because that's where a lot of guys fail at, really, because getting comfortable is the ultimate, like, for a man at least. A woman being comfortable is like, "Ah, la, la, la." A woman can't be comfortable either, because what a woman does when she's comfortable is she tries to she'll start some shit, like she'll start a little fight over nothing, and I never make a woman comfortable. I always keep them on their toes, because then again, I'm Andrew, so I'm naturally they're just gonna be freaking out all the time. But a lot of times, what happens is like a guy will think that, okay, well, now she's into me, we got a good thing going, it's fine. Now I can get my foot off the gas a little bit. I can hang back, you know, maybe not focus on the gym that much. Maybe I just, you know, I don't need to worry about what she's doing, and she's gonna do everything just fine. Everything's gonna be fine. But unfortunately, life doesn't work that way. I think you always need to have a sort of a drive to keep it going. You always have to be on your toes, I guess. You always have to keep things in a little suspense, little have fun. So, you know, it's unfortunate, but like that's what happens like in long-term relationships, like long-term. A lot of guys, they just lose their edge. They don't like, they're not the guy that she liked once in the beginning, you know, because you change, you know. She liked the guy that you were in the beginning, and then when you slowly get comfortable and everything kind of like dies down, and it just kind of gets boring in a way. And the worst thing you can do to a woman is bore her. This is fact. That's the ultimate. That's the worst
You're
thing
not
you
wrong.
can do.
But like I feel like also like when you get to like that comfort level, and like you said, you take the like your foot off the gas a little bit, like it might switch in their head a little bit, be like, oh, like does he not like me anymore?
That's a good thing.
Like
That's a good thing.
Like, I don't know about that, but like,
oh, you'd be surprised, my friend. You'd be surprised, because when a woman knows she got you, that's when she knows she can get away with anything. So that's usually the time where they'll start some shit, or, you know, it could be anything petty, or you know, or they'll like maybe a little bit of attitude, or they'll try to get their way a little bit. Like they'll kind of like step out of line, and they might try to overstep boundaries. I've always that's a lot what I've experienced, what I've seen. Sort of, it's like I've always kind of kept the same personality from the beginning to the end, which kind of just like naturally who I am. But I don't know. I think it's a kind of a good thing. I think I would call that positive anxiety, when they think like, oh, is he because then it keeps things kind of interesting in a weird way. I know it kind of sounds sadistic and weird, but the female mind is unfortunately much different than ours. So I don't think when we get like that, that's when we start to get scarce, and it's like, oh my god, what, you know, we start to panic. We're like, oh, what can I do to spice things up, or you know, we kind of start panicking, we get fearful and everything. But when a woman does that, you know, it's kind of it sparks some kind of anxiety, and it kind of makes her work a little bit harder, and it kind of like lights a little bit of fire of that genuine desire that I've seen. It's weird. It's weird to think about, but what we always say on our podcast, like men and women are pretty different, like biologically, psychologically, physiologically, like everything, like the mind and body is like very different. It's not a bad thing. It's a very good thing. It's how we survived to this point. But there's so many different things that are not really talked about that are actually very interesting and a key point to different relationships. I find it very fascinating, and everything I've seen backs it up. Like, and Mike Mike has all the receipts. He knows everything I've seen, and he knows. So
I wasn't physically there for most of it, but
I hope not.
Yeah. But I know.
Yeah, I hope he was not like in the closet or something, like just watching.
That would be awful. I would not want to see that.
Dude, it's interesting. So like one of the most interesting relationships I've ever witnessed. So I used to be friends with this one kid. I'm not gonna say any names, but I used to be friends with this one kid, and he was like tall and scrawny, and he kind of like had like a little bit of like a weird, like different haircut. He was like a wannabe, like a aspiring rapper. So he like, you know, going for like that unique look, and like, you know, not in a mean way. Like he wasn't like the best looking kid, dude. His girlfriend was like a solid 9.5. Like she was like hot as shit.
It wasn't
like,
his looks, man. It was the
hot.
way. It was his mind, man. It was his game. That was
yeah,
on point.
but like,
probably.
but like, I don't know.
talked to him.
I was just like really confused, because apparently like. And like his girlfriend was telling me this, that like they like almost never had sex, and I was just like, I would like, dude, I would have been all over her, like
why?
She just doesn't have like a sex drive like
she
that.
or he?
He doesn't.
Okay, well,
And like literally, like she told me, she's like, yeah, I would literally go up to him and be like, hey, like, so, you know, can we eat tonight? And he's like, oh, no, I'm tired. And it's like, after a while, like. She just stopped asking, I guess, and
That's weird.
he thought that like something was wrong. He's like, oh, like you never asked anymore. She's like, I don't know, and they, like he thought she was cheating on him, But apparently, like once that kind of like happened, they kind of like settled things out.
More to that story.
Things kind of
guys don't usually like turn it unless he's like seeing someone else. That's kind of weird.
No,
I've never met a guy that's
definitely
turning
wasn't
it down.
Yeah, no, it was like
If she's that attractive,
Like,
she's very attractive.
like,
and
I
I was
did
just
it-
really confused during the whole situation. I was just like, what? I'm
Maybe
like, dude,
low T maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. I really don't know.
That's very
Like,
interesting.
It was weird.
Like in the beginning for me, like there was a lot of times, and I think, and I can mostly deduce this to me changing my my nutrition habits, and also because of me not getting sleep for like me barely having any sleep for like 4 months, or longer. I don't even remember anymore. But there was a time where I wasn't sleeping a lot, right? And I had gone through a breakup like way before. I was doing a bunch of different things. I couldn't sleep at night. I was having horrible nightmares and night terrors and all these other things. And it was hard for me to sleep, and I just didn't want to sleep. And then I finally get with my fiance now, and everything's cool, everything's good. And then just before I start doing my nutrition, like changing my nutrition up into the beginning of the nutrition, and then a little bit after, there was a time where like if I'm in bed, I'm instantly falling asleep. My body cannot handle like being up when I'm already laying down. And so like let's say if I was in bed with my fiance, and then like she would, and like we would do, we'd be like, you wanna fucking do it? you wanna fucking do it? And like I know,
swiggling around the bed.
yeah, squiggling,
Hey,
and like if any of like that stuff comes up, and I'm just like, yeah, and I instantly fall asleep, and I wake up the next morning, I'm like, what happened?
She was like, "Oh, you want it? Yeah, sure."
Yeah, like
pass out.
and it's not even like her fault or my fault. Well, it is my fault, but like it's not like I can help it. I couldn't have helped it at the time because my body was just shutting down, and that was because of the lack of sleep and because of my body trying to get used to my nutrition and me getting more magnesium and melatonin into my body. It was pretty much putting me to sleep, and I needed the extra sleep. I needed all that sleep because I wasn't getting any.
Yeah, sleep is the most important, and banging comes after.
And so like if we were gonna want to bang, like my body just wouldn't let me, and it's not like it wasn't like my body wasn't not wanting to fuck. It was just my body would rather sleep.
You gotta tell her, you gotta wait till 5 a.m. for that. Okay.
Yeah, like
for now we gotta sleep.
And that it happens to people why they wouldn't like if let's say if their girl asks them, like if in that context of me at least, I feel like that's fine. But like otherwise, like if you're saying no just because probably because you don't have a sex drive or whatever, and you're just like, oh, I'm not feeling like it, type of thing.
Like, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you're not in the mood in a certain night, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, like if
But
my dog dies, I'm not gonna want to like.
Oh, well,
you know what I
100%,
mean?
yeah.
Like,
or you
100%,
have
like
a
my
rough shift at work. Like, you come home, you're just like, bro, I'm tired. Like, I just want to chill. Like,
yeah, not every day could be like WrestleMania,
True.
But I mean,
WrestleMania.
I mean, I don't know. If as long as I don't got anything going on, I can bang every day. I'm good. Like I'm healthy, high T male. I'm just ready.
I'll go multiple times. Fuck it.
Dude, I get tired after a while though. Like
after the first time,
I'll
I get tired. And then,
like I'll go like twice. And I'm just like, yeah, I can go for a nap.
I can go from 7 seconds until like 2 hours, and that's like my range.
What? Wait a minute.
It's a pretty big range.
Like it depends on the day. Like I sometimes.
Dude,
I'm
if it
just
takes
like,
2 hours, I feel like that's just a concern at that point.
Oh, I have some crazy time, but you shouldn't
gone
bang
for
for too long because
I've
think
gone
that
for a while.
there are things you like. I don't have time to bang for more than like 30 minutes a day. I got things to do.
Yeah, you got better things to do, man.
I don't know. Like I have podcasts. I have podcasts to do.
You got errands to run.
I have errands.
Got to chill with the boy.
You know, like
Have you
when I'm
finished with
leaving the
those
bed,
errands?
she's just like grab my hand. Please don't go. I was like, get off me. I need to go to work. Like it's just like. Like and sometimes you
Get off me.
Sometimes you just gotta lay down the law. You gotta listen. I have 1,000,001 things today, and we just had like 30 minutes, an hour. I have to go, and if it goes really into, she ain't gonna want to let you go out of that bed. Sunday morning, you wake up. I gotta go to the gym. Gym opens up at 7. I gotta go. No, please, Mike, don't leave me. I gotta go, baby. You know me. I'll be back in like 5 hours. Just.
I wish work was 5 hours. Shit.
Like I got some errands to run, but people are so, they're so afraid of letting it go, man. People will not get out of bed to get necessary things to them because they're just so addicted to the cuddling stage, I guess you can call it. You know, people,
like in relationships, yeah.
People, I don't know. People have lost their way, man. People don't know how to, a lot of relationships. I just see the desire fade away. Over time, like you were saying, getting comfortable. It's very easy to get comfortable, and I think you got to make things uncomfortable. To a certain degree. You don't got to be a dickhead.
You don't need to go crazy.
Yeah, you don't have to do some dumb shit. But I think there does need to be a spice to like everything. I think that's why most relationships go wrong, because somewhere along the way, but one or two parties, they lose their way. I've seen it many times. I think you need to, and some people, are just not compatible.
I agree.
They're just like, you could try to force compatibility. You could try that your whole life. Many marriages constantly do that. They try to force themselves to be compatible, but it just doesn't work.
I feel like you have to realize that like soon enough, because like in the relationship that I just ended, like I just felt like we had nothing in common.
So how did it start and how did it end is my question.
What do you mean?
Like how'd you even like meet?
Oh, so we worked together. So
that's a whole thing. I don't get in relationships with my coworkers. I just bang them.
We talked like while like we were working and stuff, but like we didn't officially date until like I moved to like a different like location and stuff like that.
It's risky, man. A lot of people meet like at work though, which is very weird because you're like company policy. Well, we shouldn't, stop banging in their meet room. But yeah, I'm doing it anyway. But a lot of relationships are founded like at work. You meet. At my job I'm currently at, like everybody's married, so unless I want to do some infidelity shit, I gotta stay away.
I say like a lot of like grocery stores I feel like are just a big dating app, honestly, because especially with like a lot of like the management that like I talk to and stuff, like, oh yeah, my husband works in the company, he works in like a different store or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm just
hear
like
that a lot.
I'm just like like that at first I was like, it's kind of weird, but then I've been working there for a couple of years and I've talked to a couple people from work and stuff, and I was like, nah, I get it.
Yeah, I was at work the other day, and then I had to do a job with a certain woman, and I was casually talking, and she's like, oh, my fiance, he does this, and I was like, oh, who's your fiance? And she mentioned this guy that worked in another part of the company, and I was like, what? No way! Like, it's just unexpected, and they're like, and they live together and everything. I just didn't expect it, so it's very fascinating to me. But I really do advise a lot of people, you should not be messing with people in the workplace for certain reasons. If you do, make sure you know that they're really into you, because you can get in a lot of trouble. Like I'm not one to talk because I pretty much have done everything wrong. But I guess I've done it all.
I've done everything wrong.
One time I had sex in like a parking lot of the company I was working for.
Nice.
Like, on my break, and I just came back like, listen, my coworker, my coworkers know, and if they're cool, they're just gonna be like nice. Because they're true supporters.
Nice.
They're true supporters.
Nice.
They're fans of my club.
they're the homies. But you gotta be very careful when it comes to workplace. How did it end though? Like exactly like.
After like I tried to like drop hints a little bit that like I wasn't really interested.
You were the one
anymore.
not feeling it, because usually I think girls dump guys more than the guys dump girls.
Yeah, no, she like I felt kind of bad about it because she was like still very much into me. I just like I didn't see us being compatible, because my thing is like I don't date to just date. Like if I see
you want
like
something, it seems like you want the seriousness, right?
I do, yeah. If I don't see this working out like in the long run, like I don't really find a point. And I'll try to like make it work out. But like you said earlier, you can't really force it if like people aren't compatible. And it's just like I felt really bad because I know it really hurt her, and like she's had a lot of like shitty stuff happen in her life.
At least you did it like at least you didn't like cheat on her or like
lie. Oh yeah, no.
So at least you did it the right way though. I mean,
yeah.
The honorable way.
You're not compatible with everyone you're gonna bang or date or whatever you want to do. You're just not gonna be compatible.
Yeah, just
sometimes it has to end.
Exactly, yeah. And just like I just things just weren't working out. Like things started getting kind of complicated, and just like I just wasn't. I just really like I know like saying like, oh I wasn't feeling it anymore is kind of like a quick cop out, but like in the grand scheme of things, like it wasn't healthy. Like if I wasn't feeling the same way, and then like I would want her to tell me that if she was feeling that way.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if you were like a little bitch, right? Imagine if you were like a cunt and you decided to like lie to her, and because you wanted some sex, right?
Oh no!
Water went down the wrong pipe.
Yeah, that's how we do it at All Gains. That's how we do it. But imagine if like you were just so scared to end it because of the sex that you would just lie to her. So you would force yourself to be compatible, and you'd force yourself to stay in it just for the good times and just for the label. Because a lot of people do that. They're not feeling anymore, but they don't want to destroy the label, and they want the free sex. So they stay in it. So at least you did it with all the right reasons, and you did what had to be done.
Exactly, yeah. And like, I don't want to talk shit about her. I'm gonna talk shit a little bit. Like,
I'm gonna talk some shit
like,
right now.
like how we were kind of saying earlier, how like, oh, there's nothing wrong with like not being in the mood or whatever. Dude, like we would hang out, and it's like if we're like halfway through, because like we usually had like a pretty like consistent like usually time that we hung out like during the weekday because like she worked and stuff.
Codename for we did a lot.
Be fun.
Yeah, like we hung out for like a good like 5-hour period, like because like we would both have work the next day and stuff like that.
Exactly. You can't go too crazy.
Yeah. We hang out a good amount of time, but like I could tell if we're like halfway through hanging out and like we haven't had sex yet. Like I could tell when she gets like pissed because like her leg starts like shaking.
I've been there.
And it's just.
So
and like I could and like sometimes I just felt bad because I was just like honestly just to stop her from throwing a fit, I'd be like, all right, let's have sex. But
you know, just take your pants off.
Like
just do it.
And like I feel bad saying it, but like I'm like there's times I just didn't want to, but just to stop her from throwing a fit and I could be more comfortable hanging out with her knowing that she's not like being all pissed, like I would have sex. And like I'm not like been saying like, oh, I didn't want to. It's just like, if we did, cool. If we didn't, cool. I was just chilling.
I think it's a good or bad thing. It's just sometimes, there has to be a raw passion. I think there's something in the brain that makes you really want to like go after someone like in a primal way. It's hard to describe, but we all have this like sense of like this urgency sometimes. Maybe it was like from our evolutionary like beginnings, because back in the day, like we had to like we did not have overpopulation. Like we were very selective.
We also did not have a civilization, so like it was we were working in the same.
We were
pretty much working.
You had to get it in.
We were working at the same rate as like the bunnies, bro. We were, we had no civilization
from like orangutans, honestly.
Yeah, very much, because
we had to fuck to survive.
Yeah. If we don't have a baby in like 90 days, we're gonna get some Black Death. We're gonna get some disease or something. So,
get
like,
run over by a buffalo.
The urge to bang and recreate was like huge, and now it's just like, it's just like whatever. But I think there's depending on the compatibility and the dynamics of any relationship, it's sort of it goes on and off. I think you cannot negotiate genuine desire, but you can kind of influence it a little bit, and if that kind of makes sense. But sometimes it's hard, and sometimes both or one or more parties kind of just like, because there has to be a spark that lights, to make you want to. It's not about ethics or anything. It's about actual just raw. It's that primal instinct you get. Like I need it right now, and sometimes it fades away, and it's natural, and you do the right thing by at least being honest about it. But like this is one of the things that sometimes it's just not meant to work out. And it's like what Thanos said, man. The hardest choices require the strongest wills. It's so true. It's such a great quote.
So no, yeah, you're not wrong. But something you were kind of mentioning earlier, like something that blows my mind nowadays, like how many people like genuinely like don't want to have children. Like I think it's
you're
really
right, because
crazy.
I am one of them. I can't because I don't have enough money, and I admit that on air. I don't care, whatever.
Yeah, no, and there's nothing wrong with not wanting to have kids, but like I understand like not wanting to have a kid maybe like right now or anything like that, but like I never want to have a kid at all in my entire life.
Yeah,
I'm just like because like I was talking to this one girl one time, and like she was like, oh yeah, like I never want kids. I was like, at all, and she's like, no, like that's not like my mind's not changing.
Old was she?
She's like my age. So at the time she's probably 22. Like maybe 21.
Well, yeah, a lot of girls they want to get their party years out of the way. They want to have their fun.
Yeah, and I understand like in the moment, obviously, like I don't want to have kids either. But like she was like, oh, I never do, like ever, because her reasoning was she worked as a teacher. And like she just started being a teacher, and she's like, yeah, like when I hear like these kids like screaming around every day, like it's like natural birth control. And I was just and like honestly, like that was
like, hello, my name's Andrew.
And like obviously there was like a couple of complications with her and stuff like that, or like us in general. That's why like I never ended up dating her or anything. But like one of the things that really just like bothered me is like that she never wanted kids, because like personally I do.
Yeah,
so, yeah, me too.
I do when the time is right. Right now, my
finances
absolutely. Are not good. It's not good.
Yeah.
And I think every powerful man should leave like a legacy, because one day you're gonna get old as fuck. You're not gonna be able to walk, maybe, or you could get into a bad accident.
Mm-hmm.
You want to have kids like take care of you one day. You take care of them now, and then they repay the favor later. But a lot of people, I'm noticing, you're right, they don't want kids. A lot of the women too, because women I think have more of a natural urge to have kids more than we do, because they literally comes out of them. Yeah. So I think they have like a more urge to have it. But a lot of women these days, they really don't, especially at a young age. Or you hear that, I want to work on my career first and make money. And I'm just like,
can't relate.
But you're fertile now. So
I can't relate because mine just consistently just wants one every waking moment of
Mike, you have a baby.
I've had conversations with her about this.
Yes, and I'm just like, not yet. And like I like because like I do like
No,
no,
yeah, I get
listen
it.
I do I want to leave a legacy. I want a man. I want a male. I want a male offspring specifically. Please, I must bring out the bloodline must continue. The bloodline must continue. That's how I feel. That's just my internal like desire for my legacy is just a male offspring to pretty much continue my legacy and my father's legacy before me. And so, but like my girl just can all the time, every day, every moment is just like, let's have a baby, or we're gonna have a baby. At this point, I'm just like, we'll get there when we get there. We will get there. And it's just consistent, and like that's great, and I appreciate that I have that. I love that I have that, where she'll consistently want to do that, because I know that she won't want to do that with anybody else. It's literally just me. Yeah. It's just me.
She wants your seed.
And that's great. She can have it like 90 million times once I get there. Once I get to that point where it's okay. As of this moment and until that time comes, that it's off the table. And that's just how it is for certain men. Guys like have different timetables. Some guys may not want to have a kid until they're like 35. Some of them might want to have one at 18. Yeah. And which is a terrible idea, but
if you don't have the financial support,
yeah, exactly.
To take care people gotta stop nutting in people. Like stop
that too.
Stop.
Listen,
be smart. Be smart with your seed, bro.
Listen, I used to be like, I don't understand how like one night stands, whatever. Like, dude, just get people pregnant. Like, dude, just pull out. The first time I ever nutted in a girl, I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I get it. In the urgency, like in the moment, you're not even thinking. You're like, that's that final. I'm just like, dude, I get it. But
it's
funny. So, well, it's not really funny, but like my friend, so he's my age. He has a kid, and how old's the kid? Like a little over a year old. So I would say we were like 21 when the kid was born, and like. He worked at the same job I did. Like he worked at a grocery store. His girlfriend worked at a grocery store. Like and. Like now he works for sales and stuff, because he told me, he was like, yeah, like the drive to have this kid, like, I don't want to live paycheck by paycheck, like working at a grocery store. Like he, like basically like his motivation to get a career was the kid. And I thought that was like the coolest thing ever. Like he works in sales now. He makes like 70,000 a year. Like he's doing good. Like
big upgrade.
See, he has the mindset. He's got the mindset that everyone should have. Like regardless of the context of what happened, he was motivated by a specific thing in his life that made him better. And a lot of people don't have that. Like some people, like they'll have a kid, but like they don't have the motivation or the drive to do more or to be where they're supposed to be. Like regardless of like the context of, let's say if someone is about to have a kid, or like they accidentally got their girl pregnant that they're not married to or something, and they're not in the job that they want to be in, they're not in the job where they can sustain that. Sometimes they just it's kind of like they give up the dream that they had, and they just stick with what they have because it's safe. And some people, some people have that mindset because they would rather the safety and the security, because they know that they're getting this money, and it can kind of help pay for whatever they need. But instead, they could try to be motivated to do more, to do what they want to do, to sacrifice a little bit of that time and effort to make it happen. But a lot of people, they don't have that drive, they don't have that focus and that motivation. And a lot of us have lost that, and some of us haven't, and that's great. And I'm so happy that I know that there are people out there that have that mindset like we do, and that hopefully all of us do, and a lot of people can learn from.
I also think another reason is my opinion. I think it's pretty true. Whatever. A lot of women are not wanting children because they're not finding men they want to have children with. Boom! Truth bomb right there.
Dude, we're in the age of gamer nerds, man. Like, listen, those gamer genes, those aren't warriors when Russia invades, man. Like, they don't want that.
Well, that's a whole other point. With the whole thing going on right now with like the possible World War III, I don't think we can fight any other nation because we're so fat and disgusting and dumb. America's great, fine, but we're so weak right now, and most of our population is overweight. Can't do a pull-up, can't do a push-up. How are we gonna go against Russia right now? Everyone doesn't even. No one even knows their gender, let alone fight a war. You know, it's just like we live in times that are just confusing. We have our own problems to take care of. I don't think we can, take on another country right now.
Apparently, like our military technology is like OD. Like apparently, it's really good. Like that.
I mean, yeah, technology has really changed the game. I'm sure. I think technological wise, we're doing pretty good. But like America's mindset, like the average civilian is like compromised. Like if everyone got drafted, people can't even run into a battlefield. They can't run. They can't walk. Other people, we literally are just a fat nation.
My personal opinion, so in Korea, I don't think it's North Korea. I think it's like South Korea, like the Korean Republic. I think before a certain age, like you have to serve. I think like mandatory, everyone has to serve at least a year or two in like military.
Yeah, that's what
and
Canada
honestly,
does.
I think that's not a bad idea at all.
Yeah, Canada does that. Canada does that too. Because I know a few people that live in Canada that when you graduate high school, like you go into the military for 2 years, and then like pretty much you graduate or whatever, and then you go about with whatever you wanted to do. Like you can either continue with the military if that's what you want, or you can go and do other things, and then the military helps you out because they give you like benefits and stuff.
Yeah,
for that. So like I feel like that's the way that it should be. I feel like regardless, like it's not like you're gonna go into battle unless if you're in an active war at that specific time, which nowadays is either happening too much or not at all. And I feel like going into the military, learning discipline, specifically discipline, because a lot of people are not disciplined in any aspect ever. People need to learn how to be disciplined, need to learn how to be organized and have a at least some sort of mental health reset, because a lot of people don't have good mental health. I mean, I don't have good mental health either, but at least I work on it
now.
At least I work on it, and it's a lot better than what it was. It was shambles. I tell you that.
Yeah, Mike and I did years of work to get where we are now mentally, and there's so much work that the human mind must do to become better, and it takes a long time, and there's a lot of self-development that needs to be done, but that's what life is partly about, But when it comes to like the rest of the world, well, I don't know, man. We're pretty weak. We're in a weakened state right now. Everybody is still scared of air, so we can't. How are we gonna fight other countries? We can't even fight with ourselves. We're like in a cold civil war, I think, in a way.
Old man yells at cloud.
Something like that. But our time is sort of up for this podcast because we got things to do. But thank you guys for tuning into the podcast, and
thank you very much, Charles. You're going to be coming back on the podcast.
I had a good time.
Next time you come on, we're gonna get even another guest. We're gonna make it even more spectacular. So
yeah, 100%.
Definitely thanks for coming on. Excellent discussion.
Yeah, thank you guys for also listening and tuning in and stuff. The next time you watch a podcast from us, it's gonna be in our new studio.
Yeah, get ready for that. It's gonna look great. We're gonna sound great. Yeah. Good things are coming, guys. And for our regular videos, we use a different mic for our videos, and soon we're gonna be doing all of our most of our videos with these mics, and you guys are going to get a lot higher quality audio.
Yeah.
So good things will come with that. We're going to get a new camera for you guys. Everything's going to look even better than ever before. So just wait for it. It's going to be epic.
Yeah, we're working real hard to get this stuff rolling. So we appreciate you all very much for sticking in and tuning in and subscribing and all that other fun stuff. And make sure you get everyone else to do it as well. Definitely subscribe and like our videos, our podcast, share them around, get talking in the comments and stuff.
Yeah, if you guys want to shop, and find some merchandise that we sell, you can go to allgainsapparel.com and you can get some hoodies. You can get some different workout stuff that you can wear in the gym and stuff that would be good for the summer or winter. Just tank tops in there.
Use promo code FuckJoeRogan for 10% off when you're shipping.
Yeah.
Goddamn, you're gonna make me have to make that, don't you? You're gonna make me have to work. Okay, guys. Thank you very much, and we will see you guys very soon.